Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel and like what you see, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. You can also find us on all your favorite social media platforms. There are a lot of exciting things on the horizon this summer at Walt Disney World. From brand new shows to attraction transformations, Epcot's overhaul, the opening of Tianas Bayou Adventure, plus so much more. We'll discuss it all as we count down 10 new attractions, updates, and changes at Walt Disney World. Number 10. There are some big changes coming to the resort for Disney Genie Plus. Beginning July 24th, the service will now be called Lightning Lane Multipass, and individual Lightning Lane will be known as Lightning Lane Single Pass. The big plus side is that now you can pre-book your Lightning Lane selections before you get to the park. Beginning at 7 a.m. 7 days prior to check-in, Disney Resort guests can book selections for the entire duration of the stay, and then non-resort guests can book 3 days before their park visit. You get to select up to 3 Lightning Lane selections as well as choose available times that fit in with your day. Once you use your first Lightning Lane, you can then book an additional selection at any park. But you're only able to hold a maximum of 3 multi-pass Lightning Lanes at any given time. With the current Genie Plus system, you're also able to book up to 2 individual Lightning Lane selections a day, and that stays the same with Lightning Lane Single Pass. The only difference is that now you can also book those ahead of time. This whole change is pretty much closer to the FastPass Plus system, except unfortunately now it's a paid service with dynamic pricing. I'm just really surprised that Disney didn't go back to calling it FastPass since that branding was so strong. I do have to say though, going back to advanced selections is definitely a step in the right direction. Waking up at 7 a.m. on the day of, trying to book everything and not knowing if the rides you wanted were available was stressful. So now you can at least be a bit more at ease and just enjoy your day at the park. Number 9. Well, it happened. On June 10th, the Epcot transformation was officially marked as complete with the opening of Communicore Hall. This was a long time coming, and now World Celebration is finally construction wall-free. The exterior of the building looks fantastic, especially at night, but I wish I could say the same thing about the interior. Communicore Hall, which was built as the festival center, feels very sterile and lacks character. Unfortunately, this was the point though, since it gives Imagineers a blank slate to be able to create something unique for each festival. It was a choice though, opening it without one. This piece of concept art does have it set up for Festival of the Arts, which does show off what they can do in here. I'm very curious to see what it looks like for Food and Wine, which does begin August 29th, because as it is, this is not the most inspiring space. It's more like wasted space right now. Even Innoventions wasn't heavily themed, but it still had a lot more warmth compared to this. During these hot summer months though, it is nice to have a large air-conditioned space, and it's a good shortcut across the park, so that's a win, I guess. Now what Disney did get right with the building was the new Mickey and Friends meet and greet. It takes up the front section of Communicore, and I just love the style of art they used on the murals. It all evokes that old-school Epcot feel, but with a modern flair. Plus, there are lots of tributes to Epcot's history. Imagineers did a great job with the theming inside as well. Again, it feels like classic Epcot, but with a modern flair. The lighting in here is fantastic, and it does allow you to get some really great shots. The backdrops for the characters are also super colorful, and apparently Goofy did some painting. Now, Mickey is the only guaranteed character in here, but right now the usual trio appears to be Minnie, Goofy, and Mickey. But obviously that can change at any point. Number 8. On June 10th, Epcot also revealed Communicore Plaza and opened a brand new limited-time show called Celeo Encanto. Alec and Alina are the entertaining hosts that lead us through a sing-along with many of our favorite songs from Encanto. They're also accompanied by 4 phenomenal dancers, and during the show, the entire plaza is filled with tons of energy. In addition to the sing-along, there are also some opportunities for audience participation, which includes helping act out We Don't Talk About Bruno. Then the show ends with an appearance from Mirabel and Bruno. It's essentially a pared-down version of the Frozen sing-along, fused together with Enchanted Tales with Belle. It was fun, and if you're visiting Epcot with the little ones, they'll definitely enjoy it. Kids in the audience were singing and dancing the entire time, and you can tell that they were just having a blast. Celeo Encanto has multiple performances a day, with the last show at 3:25, and it will only be at Epcot until September 6th. Now, if this isn't your cup of tea, a live band also performs here in the evening. Communicore Plaza is definitely set up well to host live performances, and with the lighting and everything, this will be a great space for nighttime entertainment during the festivals. Number 7. One of the best things about Star Tours is that you're guaranteed a different ride every time. It's always a unique selection of the 5 different scenes, and back in April, there were more new scenes added to the ride. This included 3 new urgent transmissions from either Ahsoka, Mando and Grogu, or Cassian Andor, plus a visit to the planet Cetos with an appearance from Ahsoka.
Star Tours, 2 against 1 here. Go do some help.
For the first couple of months, the ride was locked on these new additions, but recently they have been added into the randomized selection of scenes. This now allows Star Tours to offer up to 250 different variations of sequences. So next time you're at Hollywood Studios, take a ride on Star Tours and see if any of the new scenes show up.
Empire is watching.
Number 6. In ride refurbishment news, after a 6-month closure, Rock 'n' Roller Coaster is finally reopening on July 1st. The refurb was completed about 4 weeks ahead of schedule, which was a nice surprise. Now, anytime the coaster has been closed, there's always chatter that it could be getting rethemed, but that is not happening. The refurbishment was just to address some issues with the brake system at the end of the ride. Before, it was going down a lot, so hopefully all the kinks have been worked out and Rock 'n' Roller Coaster will be a lot more reliable. Then over at Magic Kingdom, Peter Pan's flight will be closed beginning July 8th, and it won't reopen until August 21st. No exact details were given on what will be done during the refurbishment, but Disney did file a permit to install set elements. It has been rumored in the past that Disney was thinking of removing the scene with the Native Americans, so this refurbishment could be addressing that. But for sure, I think we'll see some cosmetic changes overall, and hopefully a very good dusting. Then over at the other end of the park, the Frontierland Shootin' Arcade closed permanently on June 22nd to make way for a new DVC lounge. Since 2021, the attraction was free to play, and it was a fun way to pass a couple minutes of your day. There were some clever gags and animation in here, and it was all themed really well. Since it had been around since 1971, it may not have become the most popular attraction, but it did add some variety to Frontierland that will be missed. Number 5. On June 16th, Test Track had its last day of operations at Epcot to begin the ride's reimagining. Disney wasted no time, and when the park reopened on the 17th, construction walls went up overnight. We even got a look at the new updated logo for Test Track, which does match the concept art Disney released of the exterior earlier this year. Removing the scaffolding canopy and showing off the architecture of the old World of Motion building is a huge win. That circular awning really complements what's already there. It's a shame that for over 25 years the building has been covered by this monstrosity. On the 17th, there was already a cherry picker on site, and I think the removal of the canopy will happen a lot sooner than we think. Now, Disney originally announced at Destination D23 last year that they were working with Chevrolet on reimagining Test Track. In this third version of the attraction, they're going to be taking inspiration from World of Motion and infusing that optimism back into the ride. Judging by the original piece of concept art, it shows detailed physical sets, which is a definite upgrade from Test Track 2.0. And who knows, maybe we'll even see some animatronics because World of Motion had plenty of them. There is so much potential with this retheme, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it. Disney hasn't shared how long the ride's closure will be, but I wouldn't expect the ride to reopen for at least 10 months. A few days before the ride closed, they already had shipping containers staged outside with what I imagine are the new set pieces. So hopefully a year from this video, we'll be able to experience Test Track 3.0. Number 4. At the beginning of June, Disney announced that the Country Bear musical Jamboree will officially be opening on July 17th. This new iteration of the show will have the Bears reinterpreting all their favorite Disney songs in a variety of country music genres. Now, during this downtime, Disney did upgrade the animatronics, and they all received brand new costumes. This here is the new look for Bubbles, Bunny, and Beulah. They're actually going to be Trixie's backup singers while she sings Try Everything from Zootopia. Here's a little peek at the recording session. Try Everything actually opens up the show, and although it's an odd choice of song, I think it works really well in the country music genre. Then it was also confirmed that Teddy Beara and Wendell will be singing A Whole New World from Aladdin.
A whole new world.
I love all the songs in Aladdin, but A Whole New World is honestly not my favorite choice for the show. I'm curious to see how this actually plays out. Bare Necessities from the Jungle Book was the first confirmed song, so we know that will be included.
Look for those bare necessities, that's how a bear can rest at ease, the simple bare necessities of life.
Then the musical underscore of the Soundscape episode of We Call It Imagineering has a country version of You Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story.
Staccato 1 wouldn't hurt anything. We got the little walk down to the 6 at the end of the line.
One more like that, let it roll.
All right.
And then they play it again, and the song is there.
I would assume that's another song in the show, and there should definitely be a few others. It had been previously announced that a familiar tune that fans will remember will also be returning, and my guess on that is probably The Great Outdoors from the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown. I mean, that is a Disney song. Plus, there will be many Easter eggs included throughout the show. If the script sticks with that typical dry bear humor, I think the show will be very promising. I cannot wait for the Bears' return to Magic Kingdom. Number 3. Over at Hollywood Studios, The Little Mermaid: A Musical Adventure will make its debut this fall to replace Voyage of the Little Mermaid. Just recently, Disney shared some brand new concept art for the show, and I gotta say, this looks like it's gonna be a huge technological upgrade. In addition to all the original songs in the show, we've known Kiss the Girl will be added, but it was also revealed that the show will open with a brand new Daughters of Triton number. Plus, this rendition of Ariel's story will still have tons of puppetry with all brand new puppets. This also includes the return of blacklight puppetry for Under the Sea. I really did love the staging of the scene, and with some new technology, it's gonna be more vibrant than ever. They also revealed the new Max puppet who will still appear in the finale, and this scene also looks stunning. Then a live version of Ursula was still confirmed to be making an appearance. Whether that's the massive creepy puppet is still to be determined, but there will also be a new animated version of the character. Disney used motion capture technology to create brand new animated sequences in the show. This one here specifically is Ursula battling Ariel and Prince Eric. It looks pretty epic. Infusing this new life into the show is very refreshing to see, and I hope a lot more of this continues across the resort. No official opening dates have been announced, but they recently did install construction walls at the attraction's exit, so just stay tuned for more details and hopefully we get an opening date soon. Number 2. On May 24th, a brand new drone show called Disney Dreams That Soar debuted in Disney Springs. With over 800 drones lighting up the nighttime sky, the show celebrates the joy of flight as many of our favorite Disney characters are brought right to life. Just to put the scale of the characters into perspective, they are all bigger than Spaceship Earth and even Cinderella Castle. They are huge, and you really need to see it in person to get the full scale. It's incredible how the drones seamlessly create these animated scenes in the sky. Now, the show takes place in front of the lake, so to get into the viewing area, you need to make your way all the way past House of Blues, where you'll find the entrance on the right-hand side. Honestly, I haven't seen Disney Springs this busy in a long time, and with 2 performances nightly at 9 p.m. and 10:45, the second show was definitely a lot less crowded. It's a pretty good show, but drones have a lot more potential when paired with other storytelling mediums, like fountains and floating barges. Now, if the rumor is true and this is a test run for drones at Walt Disney World, I think we'll start seeing them around the resort a lot more because the show is quite popular. Animal Kingdom is the perfect candidate in my opinion. I mean, there's an amphitheater sitting empty every single night. Disney Dreams That Soar performs nightly and closes on September 2nd, so definitely see it before it's gone. Number 1. On June 28th, Tiana's Bayou Adventure officially opened at Magic Kingdom as the replacement to Splash Mountain. Now, the ride is using a virtual queue system, but Disney is planning on switching to normal standby shortly. No exact timing has been announced for the switch, but as it stands, you currently have 2 opportunities to enter the virtual queue. Once at 7 a.m. before you even enter the park, and then at 1 p.m. when you need to be in the park. Tiana's Bayou Adventure will also be part of Genie Plus, or later known as Lightning Lane Multipass, so you can also secure a Lightning Lane for the ride. Now, if you want to avoid any spoilers, I would stop watching here, but if not, let's get into it. So first up, the queue. I loved the theming and music. It really set the mood of being in New Orleans. As you peek around inside, you'll find clues that there is a Mardi Gras celebration happening that night. That helps set the premise for the physical ride, where Tiana and Louis are trying to find a band to play at the party that night.
Welcome, y'all. Let's meet up with Louis and find some musicians for our party. Look out, Bayou, here we come.
It's not a riveting story by any means, but my initial takeaway after riding during pass holder previews was that it's not a bad ride. I know a lot of people have strong opinions on it, but this is one ride where you need to experience it in person to get the full picture. Video alone does not do the ride justice, especially Disney's POV video. That was not a good representation of the ride at all. But I did post a full POV of the ride on the channel, and I tried my best to really capture it all. Now, is it different than Splash Mountain? Of course, but it uses the same ride system. Is it a fun ride? Absolutely. Is it perfect? No, not at all. I loved Splash Mountain, but I do think Tiana's Bayou Adventure is much more technologically impressive. It has all the bells and whistles of a modern Disney dark ride with state-of-the-art animatronics, projection mapping, and physical sets. The ride is a vibe, and the interior scenes look stunning. When you compare it to Splash Mountain, yeah, it's dark, but this is a night scene, and on Splash Mountain, that all took place during the day. It really felt like you were floating down the bayou at night. It reminded me a lot of the Bayou scene on Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. The sound design through this stretch of the ride couldn't have been more perfect. Tiana's Bayou Adventure is a great Disney dark ride. It just didn't feel like a thrill ride because there was no suspense in the story. The thrilling elements are all still there, like that 50-foot plunge, and those elements are essentially the adventure. Not so much the story. I absolutely loved the finale and all the layers in this scene. There is so much happening, but you pass through so quick that you don't even get enough time to take it all in. I wish we were in this room longer. Throughout the entire ride, the A1000 animatronics are very impressive, but like the finale, you pass by them so quick that there wasn't enough time for them to show off what they were capable of doing. Right now, all the animatronics, aside from the ones in the finale, are triggered by sensors along the flume. I would have loved for Louis and Tiana's dialogue in the Bayou to be on a continuous loop. That way you would get to see them perform for a bit longer while they're in full view. Aside from that, the animatronics in the ride are fantastic. Even the critters are all really cute and the music is very catchy. I would have maybe included one song less, cause right now it feels a bit much with 5 different songs. In my opinion, Down in New Orleans and Almost There should have been instrumental only, that way it kind of builds up to getting into the Bayou. These are obviously just little nitpicky things, but overall, I really did enjoy Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It was fun, and every time I'm at the park now, I'll definitely be going on the ride.
What a band!
Now, out of everything on the list, what are you looking forward to the most at Walt Disney World? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video.